It's not the most like, let's say, an aggressive sport, right? Football, like he had a concussion last year. I mean, he has concussions pretty much. I mean, we don't talk about, but he does have concussions, and he's.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Your boy, the Great Patriot here, DGP, back again with another episode of Patriot Keys. This is no longer the off-season edition because I feel like we kind of moved past the off-season and we are now getting towards, that training camp, OTAs, that preseason feel. Football season is almost around the corner. That means summertime. That's when we put in that grind. We put in that work. The news kind of subsides a little bit, so I have a couple things to kind of look forward to for the next current year and kind of reflecting the past current year, so you guys will still be having Patriot Keys videos. I know I sound a little bit different. This is a different microphone. I'm in a different setup. Bear with me. Please bear with me. Bear with all these adjustments because I'm telling you, by the time the fall comes, everything's going to be settled. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, let's talk about this. You guys saw the clip of Tom Brady's wife, Gisele. She was talking to CBS about Tom Brady and concussions, about, Tom Brady and, the whole concussion thing, about how did she feel about him playing football. And that clip that I showed you, it's kind of got outrage across the whole sports world, which she basically said, Tom Brady had a concussion last year, and he's pretty much having concussions every year. And if you guys don't know, he hasn't been reported for a concussion since 2003. Normally, he's been reported for concussions. I'm sorry, not because normally he's reported for injuries. But since they changed the whole injury rule where it's no longer probable and it has to put like questionable, doubtful, stuff like that, that's when Belichick kind of took that way. Because if you guys don't know Belichick, what he did was every little nagging injury, he'll always put him on an injury report. So for like the past like years before they put that rule, no more probable and stuff, if Brady had like a sore foot, he'll put foot injury down. If he had a sore ankle, put an ankle down. A sore wrist, he'll put that down. So people are saying, how come you can put everything down, but you can't put down a concussion, or he hasn't entered the concussion protocol? Now, reason why I think and this is gonna be my take why I think if it's a big deal, if it's not, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm not a doctor, not a neurosurgeon. Of course, I'm not that. But I have played football in my younger days, and I've dealt with concussions. And I will tell you there are different levels of concussions, and I feel like this probably is one of the things she's talking about now. Listening to athletes who play football, guys like Teddy Bruschi, Chris Carter, just people who play football for, and also Gerard Mayo, people like that. Just listen to people, of course, and everybody should know this. When you play football during the course of a game, you're probably not going to come out there without a concussion. Now, the severity of, I shouldn't say concussion, I should say some sort of head trauma, whether it's minor or major. Now, again, depending on if it's minor or major is a different story. And I feel like with Gisele, I think she might have been talking that he had a minor concussion, like a little bit of a stinger, like my head hurts a little bit, it's a little bit tight, stuff just happens. And that's just with the game of football. So I feel like what she was talking about was a mild concussion, like a little stinger, and I don't think it's a major concussion. I don't see him have had a major concussion. I could be wrong because, Calvin Johnson came out, he said he's played with like 10 concussions. Again, they could have been major concussions, they could have been mild concussions turned to major concussions, but he said that he has about, and all NFL players do this, they don't report their concussions, which is something that, players should also be accountable for, not just the NFL. NFL has done a decent job with the concussions. They could do a lot better job with the concussion protocol, with the making sure players are safe. They can do a lot better, but also we got to hold the players accountable. And I feel like if Brady hasn't gone to the trainers and say, listen, something's wrong with my head, it's a little bit, I don't think that the Patriots are that cruel where Brady says, I'm counting birds in my head, I can't really see much. They'll be like, okay, go out there and play football. Because, and Teddy Bruschi said this, and I kind of was thinking it, but he kind of, made more sense about it. If a guy, is really hurt and this is like a big game, he says, I can't play, we look at him like, how come you couldn't play? How come you couldn't gut it out for that one game? You never get a chance. If this was the Super Bowl, you're not going back in the Super Bowl. How come you can't go in the Super Bowl? But, if he plays with an injury and he can further damage himself later down the line when he's older, people look at him like, well, I mean, why'd you play with that injury? So it's like a lose-lose situation in terms of public perception. So I'm never upset when a player who knows his body better than everybody else, because at the end of the day, they don't get paid they get paid for our entertainment. So if a guy gets hurt, like if Brady was to go down, be like, I got this head injury, would I be upset as a fan of the game, as a fan of football? I'll be upset. But I also understand the injury aspect, that I want player safety to be the number one priority. So I understand, where Gisele's coming from, because she's concerned about her husband. But I feel like what she was talking about and why people are blowing this out of proportion is just because she used the word concussion, like a stinger that they call it. That's just sometimes your nerves get damaged a little bit, and then you just you shake it off. All football coaches tell you to do that. They tell you to shake off your injuries. And nowadays players, they don't shake off injuries no more. They actually do say, I'm hurt, I'll go to the bench. But some players don't, and I think Brady's one of those players who he'll get hit a lot. He don't get hit a lot, but when he does get hit, he's like, I can just shake it off. We can just keep it moving, because he wants to be on the field. He wants to play football, and I feel like, again, players, they just have that attitude. To play football, you do got to be crazy. I think to play football at that competitive and be that good, there is something wrong. Like, you got to be crazy. Like, you got to be obsessed with the sport. And I feel like that's something what Brady has shown. And you've seen his emotion, winning, losing games, all that stuff. He's obsessed with the game of football. So, again, going back on this Gisele situation, I think Brady's upset that she said that, because that's probably something that was kept private between them. But it hopefully, it opens up the light that all these players do it. And again, players have said they've done it numerous times, but it's just because it's Tom Brady, it's the Patriots. Oh my goodness, they're always trying to cheat, always trying to find some tactic to use. But this is one of the times use that excuse. This is serious, and I do feel like he's probably had minor concussion. I don't think he's ever had a major concussion, but minor concussions, little knick-knack head injuries, I believe he's had that. I'm pretty sure he's had that if he played football for as long as he has. So we'll see how that turns out. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I think Tom Brady's upset that she said that. Let me know your thoughts. Are you think Brady's upset? If you was in that situation with Brady, would you be upset that she said that? And I just feel like he's only had mild concussions. I don't feel like he's had major concussions, and the Patriots said you still have to play. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on this whole situation. I think it's blown out of proportion just because it happens all the time. But I do understand. When I say blown out of proportion, I'm talking about how people are saying that the Super Bowl was tainted, how they always trying to cheat. No, that part's blown out of proportion. But people are talking about player safety, that's not blown out of proportion. I feel like that's what we should be focused on. Let's not keep trying to make jokes and stuff about the cheating. Let's worry about these player safety. So again, that's it for the video. I got about 3-4 videos I'm trying to record today and get up to you guys. I know it's been about a week. Again, this is the new mic, so bear with me for these next couple of videos. New setup, bear with me again. So, I'm moving around, trying to get this stuff together, because when football season come around, I'm going to have everything set up. So again, like, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.